Good morning, guys. Getting a bright and early start to the day today. Duncan has been dropped off at school. The video about the Yongnuo light went up this morning. It should be going live here in just about an hour. I actually went ahead and ordered a spare battery and an AC adapter for that little light. I figure I will probably end up ordering a second one just so I can do some testing. And not the same one that I ordered, but the original one that has the barn doors on it. As you might be able to see, it's kind of a rainy, nasty day this morning, and I have to go into the office. Haven't gotten an email from my boss or anything saying, hey, don't come in. But that's actually a good thing because I do have to run by FedEx to drop off the Huawei watch, and it's always good to get out of the house for a few minutes here and there. After I wrapped up the vlog last night, Christina came downstairs with Ellis at 1-something, 1:20, 1:30. So I ended up feeding him and then putting him to bed at close to 2 o'clock, maybe a little after 2, meaning that I am super tired today. Also, I switched over the bag that I'm using. I've got all my work stuff in this messenger bag that I got from XDA a couple of years ago. I think it was actually after I'd been working for XDA for 1 year. They sent me this whole swag bag. There was this really, really nice Rickshaw branded messenger bag, a bunch of stickers, a mug, a t-shirt, things like that, which was greatly appreciated, but I haven't had a real excuse to use the messenger bag because it's a black bag with a white front, which is just gonna get absolutely nasty if I start using it on a regular basis. At this point, it's just like, it's been sitting there and it's such a nice, expensive bag. Why am I not using it to carry my nice, expensive MacBook Pro for work? Let's do that. I will admit, I'm pretty bummed with how the experiment yesterday with the ZenFone Zoom turned out. Being that the phone is so heavily focused on the camera, I thought it was going to be a much better experience than that. But the good thing is, because of that, now I have more of a basis for the camera portion of my review, basically to say that in good lighting, it does some excellent quality photos and video. In poor lighting, not so much. And if you use it too much and it gets too hot, the audio and video will go out of sync. So that's good to know. That's potentially a software issue. Well, as I get closer and closer to work, I think I've driven out of the rain, so it's actually looking quite nice out right now. I have so many big plans, videos that I really want to attempt to make today, and part of that's going to depend upon the weather. Because if I can work it out, I would like to finish up the Allegiant VR headset review. I would love to finish up the FQ777954 little teeny tiny nano quadcopter with an actual video camera built into it, and then probably start taking a look at one of the 2 quadcopters that GearBest sent me to take a look at, probably the little Pico quadcopter, because again, I can fly that one indoors. I should not take it outdoors. That's what went wrong with my last one, was I took it outside and of course it crashed, the motor started messing up. I just have to be more careful with them. Those little teeny tiny, like the nano quadcopters can be really stable, but they're still kind of twitchy. The Pico ones, the little teeniest ones, those are touchy, so you have to be really, really careful. And if those videos go as planned, there's a bunch of other things, of course, I need to be working on. That was super, super easy. Just walked into the FedEx office store, stood there for a second while the guy talked to somebody else, then he turned to me and said, "You got something you need to drop off?" Yep, thank you. Awesome. So now I can go to work. I'm just getting ready to leave the office, but I thought I'd take a second and say, wow, look at that sky. It's ridiculous. And the morning at work is done. Another good, successful morning there. The YN300 video is up and lots of good comments are coming in on it. And I should admit, I went ahead and watched the video again, and I liked the way that it looked. It was just too close and too harsh. So I really want to try that LED panel on one of the light stands farther away. And I think his name is Kyle. He comments on a lot of my videos. He says he is a professional photographer. He was talking about how good the quality of the lighting looked. And those LED panels, they're like 95 CRI. CRI is a rating where it lets you know how close to being 100% accurate on whatever color it's supposed to be, it is. And anything in the 90s or higher is awesome. I mean, ideally you'd want 100, but you're just not going to get that without paying lots and lots of money. But after watching the video back myself and seeing how good the color quality looked and how useful I think it's going to be for when I'm traveling, I went ahead and ordered a second one. I actually ordered the YN300 number 3 or whatever you want to call it, so I can actually have a back and forth. And the good thing about this one is it comes with a remote and there's a smartphone app you can use with it. Whereas the one I just purchased, the $40 one, does not have a remote, does not work with smartphones, but it's thinner and lighter. So much lower power consumption, much less heat. Not that the CFL light bulbs I'm using put out a lot of heat at this point, but still lower power consumption and a little bit less heat. I'm just curious to see what 2 of those with proper diffusion on them would look like when I put them a little farther away and turn them all the way up to their max. I'd be willing to bet that the G7 would make it look amazing, and I suppose we will see in just a few days. And I am home, and there's a boy and a you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there. You having your lunch?
Mm-hmm.
Tasty.
Mommy hasn't had lunch yet.
No, I haven't either. Hi.
Because some little boy decided he was going to make me hold him.
He just wanted attention.
Yes, he did.
Arms flat out. He's He's comfy. And I'm back in the car, back on the road again. Gotta go pick up the groceries. After I had my lunch, I was sitting in there doing just a few quick tests with that LED light. And the funny thing is, the Air version has like a built-in diffuser on the front of it, which makes it look a little bit brighter. Because I was testing back and forth with it, putting it inside of the existing light, meaning putting it inside the softbox, and it didn't make any difference in terms of the light. It didn't make it any less harsh or anything. At least not much less. Not noticeably less. And it does put out a decent amount of light. It just doesn't fill the room with light. But I would still be really tempted to try to switch to using just those little teeny panels, because with the camera that I've got, it does so well in low light, and it doesn't have to go to high ISOs because of the ultra fast aperture on the lens. If I could take two teeny tiny little LEDs, you know, two of those little $40 ones with two $20 AC adapters, you're talking $120 for an entirely new lighting setup that takes really, really low power and puts out a halfway decent amount of light. If I could just figure out a way to mount it close to the camera, but not so close that it's making a really harsh, bright light on my face, that would make for some excellent lighting. Doing the Kroger in-car pickup thing again, big fan of that. Means Christina can pick out all the little things that she wants through the website. She doesn't actually have to run out to the store and go up and down every single aisle looking for everything, and you just hit the button, you give them a couple of bucks extra, and I've actually brought a bunch of coupons they're going to scan for me as well, so that's a big plus. So convenient. That's a total of maybe 10 minutes, maybe, and a large part of that was that I had coupons that I had to give to the guy. He had to take them back inside, scan it all, and then came back out. Much better than the hour to hour and a half it would have been to get a week's worth of groceries. So she has decided it is time to consume the cheer wine.
We're gonna try it.
I'm gonna try it. It's diet cheer wine, so it's not as horrible. It's worse.
Wow, that tastes like...
This is a great angle, I should tell you.
Thank you. It tastes like something I've had before. I just don't know what... I don't know how to describe.
Let's see. Nope. I'm gonna keep showing the face. Wow. That's cough medicine. That's exactly what it tastes like.
Yeah, it tastes like cough medicine. You're right.
Yeah. Which is super sad, because I love regular cheer wine.
Yeah, it tastes exactly like cherry cough syrup.
Yep.
But with carbonation. Mm-hmm.
Kind of like NyQuil.
Yeah.
Well, we're not allowed to say NyQuil, are we? I don't know, whatever.
Cherry flavor.
Cherry flavored cough suppressant.
Cough syrup.
Cough syrup, yeah, too. No more for me. So it's a little while later, and somebody has decided it's time to play some video games. So we brought Ellis in here in his little swing. We're gonna play, I don't know, Lego Star Wars. I just heard yelling, something's going on, what's going on? Ew.
It's a lobster tail.
She is de-lobstering the lobster.
Yeah, I got the first one out whole. Look, I did it so good.
It looks good, yeah.
It's not cooked yet.
It's not good. Well, I'm just saying it looks good. It will be good, hopefully.
It will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I figured out, I watched a video on how to get it out because I never.
Because you can learn anything on the internet.
Yeah, and so you take scissors and you cut up the lobster and then you pull. Yeah. And by the way, this is like sharp, like pointy.
Spiny,
like,
yeah.
But
it's
you
a
pull
defense mechanism.
Off.
Oh, that's graphic.
And then you get in there and you got to get your finger between the lobster meat and the shell. If any of you viewers has any easier way to do this, I would be
appreciative is the word.
Yeah.
That looks terrible.
It's gonna taste good though. The person on the video was better at this than me.
Well, I'm sure they're more practiced at it.
Yeah.
We're not fancy. We don't have lobster on the regular.
Actually, I've never cooked lobster before.
There you go. Okay.
There's 2 lobster tails.
It's lobster with lobsters. She's making up her super tasty and gross looking sauce again. Oh, because they're sweet potato fries and
they're actually fried.
They're fried sweet potato fries with this thing, which kind of looks like an apple pie.
It's lobster macaroni and cheese.
Lobster mac and cheese.
So Friday needs macaroni.
Fancy. Yeah. So it's lobster cheese.
Well,
she said she didn't use macaroni.
I use noodles and not macaroni.
Lobster noodle cheese. Got it. And I have an adorable sleepy little boy. And then that one.
Delicious.
Let's see, lobster mac and cheese. Mmm. That's pretty good.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And these sweet potato fries, fried, so much better. That was a tasty dinner, and me and the littlest man sitting here hanging out. He is completely zonked out. In other news, completely other news, there's a story that's going around all over the internet. I've seen it pop up in my feeds like a dozen times today about this person who put together a Twitter bot that effectively runs a speed test And if their speed test is less than a certain amount, it tweets at Comcast and says, why is my speed so slow? If it's down, it tweets at them and says, why am I down? Which I don't know how it would do if it was down. But anyway, it's just a simple Python script. I guess it's just getting so much attention because of it's sort of audacious, I guess. Because instead of just taking those results and going to Comcast with them, he's publicly blasting Comcast over it. So I took a copy of that Python script and I've got it running on my Raspberry Pi. And now every 3 minutes, I don't have it tweeting. I took out all the Twitter related components because I don't want any of that. But this is what it does instead. So every 3 minutes, it runs a speed test. It gives me my ping, it gives me my upload and my download speeds. And looking at it, it's like 16, 25, 22. I don't see anything that's at 30 megabits per second, but they're all relatively close. Some of them as low as like 16 or 15, but most of them in the 23 to 28 range. Not bad. And the upload speeds are all, like, I don't see one that's less than 2.77. Yeah. And I'm paying for 30 down and 3 up. Very, very nice. Again, goes to show what you can do with a little bit of know-how, a little bit of coding knowledge, and some Python, or some Ruby, or some whatever. Because really all this is doing is calling the Linux speedtest-cli app, have it run that, have it parse it out appropriately, write it out to a file. In this case, I'm writing it to a file as well as to the screen, so I have it on the screen, but I also have a backed up copy of it, so that I can go back to it and say, on this day, at this time, here was what my speed was. Here's what the speeds have been for so long, things like that. And I hadn't really thought about what to do with it. I guess I could technically just share it out, stick it up on GitHub just like the guy did, and maybe link back to him and say, here's his original thing. Sort of a, if you want to run it all and have it all go locally and not bug the crap out of somebody on Twitter, you can do that. I really ought to clean up the code a little bit because it's, in all the articles I read, the guy was quoted as saying, I'm not a programmer, so don't expect my code to be perfect. I'm not a great programmer, but I know how to clean up some code. So I might do that and then stick it up on GitHub.
I've been drinking.
Oh, Duncan's feeding Ellis for the first time, and Ellis is just staring him down. Oh, now he's on me. Alright, much later, I've gotten Duncan to bed. We had some just absolutely adorable moments in there earlier. I may go ahead and include some of the photos that I took in here, because while we were in there, Duncan was feeding Ellis, and she said, just get the camera. So I brought the camera in, and I was taking every shot that I possibly could, and I got some amazing shots of Duncan and Ellis. It was great. And Duncan read again tonight. I didn't capture any of it, but he did all of the reading. He read for like 20 minutes straight, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for a kid that doesn't read a lot, at least not here at home, that's a decent amount. And actually, I forgot to show it earlier. I think I forgot to show it. There's the YN300 light up on its little light stand. What I'm seriously thinking about doing is replacing both of these gigantic softbox with 2 of those. And having those with tripod mounts on them means that I could technically rig up a whole little kit all around this, all around the tripod head, as it were. I could probably figure something out. I don't know if I need just mounting plates or brackets, arms, something. I'm sure I could figure out a way to mount everything together like that. And by the way, I completely forgot to mention earlier I got a call from my dad, and a little bit of a bad surprise there. While we were in the middle of that whole little family moment there, my phone started ringing, and it was in the next room, so I had to run to get it. And my dad just basically said, hey, what are you all up to? And I told him where we were and what we were doing and everything, and he asked if I could send some of the pictures to him, because I've been sending him just little updates about Ellis, since they haven't been able to be around as much as they'd like. And I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and put them up on Facebook, so you can see them on Mom's computer. And he said, well, I'm not at home. I'm in the hospital. So apparently my dad has been in the hospital most of the day, and they just now called me at like 8 o'clock at night. It's 9 o'clock now. He's been in with chest pains and shortness of breath and all the symptoms that sound kind of like a heart attack, but it's not a heart attack. I don't think I mentioned it while he was here. I don't remember. But the doctors have had him on like 15 different medications. They're trying to regulate his blood pressure. They're trying to deal with the sicknesses that he's had. They had him on steroids to try to keep all the coughing down because he's been just hacking up a lung all the time. And what I kept telling him was, you need to go to a doctor and actually have them do a full audit of all the medications that you're on. Because your daily medications, when mixed with these that you're taking, are probably interacting poorly. And just 2 days later, he's in the hospital. Awesome. So hopefully they're going to take care of this. Hopefully they're going to get him fixed up. He said he's already feeling a lot better, which most likely just has to do with the fact that they're pumping him full of water, pumping him full of saline to get a lot of that yuck out of him. Medication can be a great thing, but when it's done in abundance, when doctors just write prescriptions willy-nilly and they don't bother to check what you're taking and to see if things have interactions with each other, there's a problem there. So keep my dad in your thoughts and I will keep you updated. And it's a little while later. Christina took Ellis and headed on up to bed, and I've been sitting here actually working on a bit of a quick video about the Shield tablet. Earlier today, the Marshmallow update for the Shield tablet came out, so I've actually got the... Ooh, it just finished. The ROM itself has finished downloading, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish the video up. And I say that, and then I realize that it just finished downloading, so I actually have to go through the installation process now. Preparing to flash, it's gonna reboot. So that's gonna take another 10 or 15 minutes at least. But I'm gonna go ahead and wait for this update to finish. I'm gonna finish that video. I'm also working on the Allegiant, you can't even see it, there it is, Allegiant VR headset video. Gonna try to finish that one up tonight. May go ahead and start taking a look at a couple other things. I've got this little table over here with a smartwatch on it and an LED lamp and then a couple of quadcopters over there that need to be taken a look at. I'm in a very good position right now. I'm very, very happy. Well, my tablet finished updating and I was getting ready to start filming the rest of that video. But Ellis decided it was time for a bottle. And after the bottle, as you can see, he is the most awake baby on the planet. No, I did not lace the bottle with caffeine. So yeah, that is gonna wrap up today. That's gonna wrap up the vlog. It's gonna wrap up any chance of doing anything else tonight. I'm going to be dealing with not sleeping baby. If I'm very, very lucky and he somehow falls asleep in the next 15 or 20 minutes, maybe I can get a little bit more done, but probably not. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for spending the day with me and my family and listening to me ramble on and on and on about camera stuff and whatever else. And we will see you again tomorrow.